Good evening. Welcome to Two Loco Radio, and I'm Ray Ray.
And I'm Chrissy D.
And this here is Tempo with AT.
And this is Snow.
And we have the world famous, one of the most talented DJs ever, Jack Nickelz, joining us. Welcome, Jack.
That was such a marvelous intro. I don't know if I can live up to such pressure. I just feel so much pressure on me, Ray. So much pressure.
How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, Chrissy. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That is good to hear. I hope Ray is staying out of trouble.
Yeah, he is.
All right, that's good to hear, too.
Hey, Jack, this is Tempo. I don't believe I've ever talked to you, but I was told that you were the one that mixed up this intro here for Two Loco Radio. Is this true?
Yes. I can't take full credit for it. It was under the guidance of the great Chrissy D and Mr. Ray. They kind of guided my hand on what they wanted, and I just did what they told me to do. Like a good guy.
A man that does not take full credit. I already like this guy. Ray, I appreciate that. I already like this guy. This guy's good.
All right. So what's going on since last time that we talked, Mr. Nickelz? What projects you working on currently?
I got so many. I'm actually working on a project with a guy that you just recently did an interview with, Trey Tuck. So we're working on a project. I'm also working on another mixtape project with my friend Tom Benjamin, which I've been really excited to do. Then I got my own solo stuff, which I'm trying to knock out. I got another project with my homeboy JC, aka John Russell. We're gonna be knocking out something, and then I have my big producer showcase, which is gonna be happening May 30th at Sully's Pub over in Hartford. So I got a lot on my plate.
Nice. Plus you work with kids and everything, so you're just like the all around busy dog in the park right now.
Pretty much so.
Now, Jack, for all the listeners out there, where are you located right now?
I am located in Hartford, Connecticut.
All right, okay.
And how long you been doing this?
Jeez. I've been doing music, hip-hop for about, I want to say, going on 23 years. I started young. It's interesting. I started as a DJ. My mother went and she got me, my first, this is old school, it's like DJ turntables, not like the CDs and the MP3s that people use now. But back when, I had, two Gemini turntables, a Newmark mixer, and I used to carry all my records to all my gigs. I was a DJ back then. From DJing, I went into producing because my school had a great music production program, so I learned how to do music production. I kind of veered off from that and hooked up with my friend Devin and my boy Tony when I was at this program called Upper Bounds, and I started doing rhyming. I've been rhyming ever since. Eventually, me and my boy Tom Benjamin hooked up, and he got me back into producing, so I've been producing heavily ever since.
So we're talking like vinyls, right? You're talking about Geminis?
When I'm talking Geminis, I'm talking about vinyls all the way to needles.
There we go.
Pennies on the needles to make sure they stay.
Yep.
How to scratch, mix. I told people, see, when I started DJing, a lot of people may not some people may remember this, some people may not. There were actually record stores. Like when you would go, like Strawberry, Record Express, FYE, everybody that sold music had a record store. Even the mom and pop shops had little records, and I would go and I would save up all my money and go buy the newest record. I was a part of a few. They were called record depots, and what you would do is you would send money to them, and they would send you exclusive mixes and acapellas and albums early before release dates. I had fun, and in doing DJing, I was able to get a few gigs at radio stations. So I worked at 89.9 Kid FM as an intern. I worked at Central, had my own mix show. I worked at Eastern Connecticut, had my own mix show. So, That was back when DJing was pure.
You know, and that's the thing. Like now, you know, you got 8, 9-year-olds that are playing on their mom and dad's. Well, hell, it's probably not even their mom and dad's. It's theirs at this time and age. But playing on their tablets and stuff, or even like the Macs, and you know they got all these DJ equipment, and it's crazy the software that's out there. But I mean, you can definitely tell the difference between a scratch on a vinyl than a electronic scratch that's been programmed. There's a big difference.
Oh yeah, it's I tell people the difference between DJs from when I started and DJs now is there was a different feel. You know, when I was a DJ, you know, I didn't have, you know, a computer to go through and perfect my mixes and get the sound quality right. A lot of the stuff I did as a DJ happened on the fly. So I got to a party, I started mixing, and maybe one record was recorded a little lower than the other. So I had to listen to it in my ear, and as soon as I started playing it, I had to make the adjustments on the fly, or I had to speed or slow things down to get the mix going perfect on the fly right then and there. I didn't have a program to do it for me when it came to cuts. You know, I had to practice. And sometimes during the live show, I'd mess up. But, you know, nothing sounded smooth. And I think that's what a lot of the DJs miss, that, you know, it's so easy now. All you got to do is press a button and everything links up and syncs up and all the effects you want to have, and you don't really have to do work anymore.
Yeah, you know? And the thing is, you know, you're talking about some of the vinyl shops you used to go to. Out here, there used to be a place called Big Cats, and then it branched off, and it was called Tomcats. And gosh, I'd say probably up to 2004, you could actually go in there and actually buy like vinyls. But, you know, CD kind of took over, and now it's like it's all MP3, and these, you know, mobile DJs, or even like standard DJs, you know, that aren't mobile, they've got literally 15,000 plus, you know, songs in their archive and a click of a button. But back, gosh, hell, I'll even just say 10, 15 years ago, you know, MP3 was, you know, coming out, and the thing is if you look at, you know,
you barely had an internet.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? I mean, I'm talking, you know, and I'm just saying 10, 15 years at that, you know, MP3s are, you know, coming out, you know, and then people start burning discs, and then you didn't have, you know, an iPod connector. You didn't have this equipment that you have now. But that's what I was saying earlier there, Jack, is the fact that you can tell the difference between a vinyl scratch and one that is an MP3 or it's a computer edited scratch. A big difference. And you hear a lot of this computer edited stuff in a lot of the popular stuff that's on the radio these days.
Well, I've always said that one of the big things I hate about music is when we moved away from, you know, live instrumentation, and when we moved away from everybody having to go out and find different people to do different stuff, and everything became so easy to do, we lost the feeling. When you go see, and I've been in many DJ battles and DJ competitions, the difference you can hear between when a DJ scratches, you know, next to when a DJ programs it in is there's a feeling in there. You know, you got DJs who've been doing this all their life, so when they start scratching, if they're in the room, they're in the moment, everything blanks out and it's just them in the music. But when you see someone program a scratch into the studio, it's just like okay, there you go. You know, there's no real showmanship into it, and that's the music is lacking nowadays. And me and Red talked about this a bunch of times. It's once things become accessible and easy, you lose that showmanship, you lose that feeling, you lose that drive that made the music so motivated, and that extends on down to DJing, to even just like some of the more current rock stuff that you hear now. You know, if I take a local rock group that's popular now, and I compare them to like a Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath, you can hear the difference in quality and feel for music.
Yeah, it's like you take the baddest computer speakers and you compare them to an 808, not even close.
Oh my God, yeah. The 808.
Oh, come on.
Oh. Yeah, Snow's over here.
I'm in love with the 808. There's nothing better than the sound of a good thumping 808.
And you know the thing is I don't know if Ray Ray or Chrissy D has told you is when I was in high school I actually used to play in a live band, and that's where I picked up the name Tempo. I was a drummer, but the thing is you know I'm actually very impressed with the 808 compared to an actual snare roll or a snare pop, because damn it, it's close. And I'm giving credit to technology, but then again, you know, we were talking versus, you know, the vinyl scratch versus the technological scratch. I mean, there's a big difference, but then again, with technology, I mean, hell, if it's not on the head, it's right there with, you know, a live snare pop. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, but would a live snare pop smash a window like an 808 can?
No, Ray, but I'm going to go stick my nose in the corner now. No, it would not. No, it definitely would not. But
I always say, you know, I love the advancement music has made, because, you know, like I say, even though I love the old days of DJing, it was killing my back having to carry like 20 to 25 crates of records to do one party, and then it was breaking my pockets to get, you know, the latest music, the latest instrumental, the latest acapella. You know, you're trying to do all stuff, keeping up with equipment. You know, that became expensive. Nowadays, to do it is a lot simpler. But when it comes to, like, the sounds, trust me, I love the 808. It has a good, real good punch in the face feel. But as a musician, a live band with a live snare roll, something about hearing a good drummer, and you hit that, you hear it live instrumentation, and he's just going in. There's nothing that can match it. Nothing, hands down.
And you know the thing is well, like I say, I was a drummer when I was in high school and everything. Tragic story, the reason that we split up. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But I remember there was an individual that a lot of people didn't really care much for, and he was actually scratching vinyl. That was it, you know. And CDs, you know, they're starting to come around, and you know the MP3 wasn't far behind. And this guy would literally just scratch vinyl. That was it. If he couldn't get it on vinyl, it doesn't matter if the radio was playing it or not. You know, if Tomcats didn't have it, he couldn't play it. And so many people, you know, would give this guy shit because he couldn't get it. But I mean, it wasn't his fault, you know, and because he couldn't get it from, you know, the actual vinyl dealer. So we actually, and this was actually one of our last shows that we did. We actually played for, and it wasn't even our senior prom. We actually did our senior prom, and we were actually, freshmen? Yeah, freshmen, and he was in on it as well. And you know the band, you know they've got. You know, the guitarist, the bassist, they've got the lead vocal, they've got the drummer, and then they threw in, I'm not going to mention the band's name, but they threw in this DJ, and they got really big for it, right? Because it was new. But the thing is hell, we were doing that, you know, before, but he wasn't doing it on, you know, CD or MP3. He was actually scratching vinyl. And we had so many, and it wasn't like big gigs, you know. It wasn't like they're paying us $1,000 a night. It may be $20 a head for the people that are playing. So we're walking out with $20 a piece. But at that time, that was big money for us. And the thing is what I'm getting at is the talent that was big then, in all reality, is still big now, because it's like it's a dying breed. And this is only my opinion. I mean, you could disagree if you'd like. And the thing is if you and what I'll get straight to the point is, like I was saying earlier, you know, you got 8-year-olds out here, you know, on their iMacs or whatever it is, and they got all these programs. You put them on two Geminis, they're not going to know what button does what.
Well, that's why I tell people, and I get mad when they do stuff like they pull music programs out of the school. And being a DJ, it was a full all-around science. You weren't just grabbing records and learning how to cut. You had to learn how to go find the best records. You had to learn the best way to cut on your turntables. You had to go find a shop that had the best deals. Then you had to find the best configuration for your set, for your sound. Then you had to figure out your own style. It was a whole wide encompass thing where people ended up taking these personalities to fit their style, because their style was never like who they were in real life. So they had to create this facade. So when they go DJ, instead of being Dan Warren, I'm DJ Jack Nickelz. DJ Jack Nickelz is animated, so when he cuts, it sounds like a transformer. It's like, and he's real quick. And he does nice mixes, and he always knows when to bring the record out so people can sing along, and then bring it back in so people can keep going. It was you had to come up with a whole routine, because DJing was like performing. It was like a performance art. You just couldn't get up there, and I see a lot of DJs now. Get up there and play, they hit a button, and they'll move, they're going, okay, hit another button, and now, don't get me wrong, I know some digital DJs, and I know how hard it can get.
It is. But
it's become so easy now that anybody can get a laptop, go get yourself a virtual DJ, download a bunch of and just start playing, and don't really have the know-how of the craft itself. Is what I think we're missing.
Exactly, and that's what I was getting at. I was saying, it's kind of a dying breed, but then again, it's a breed that is actually needed, because as everyone ages, they don't exactly want to hear Skrillex, or they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that type of music. They want you throw on a vinyl and you actually scratch. I mean, cut. Yeah, I mean, actually do it. And the thing is like I was saying before, 8-year-olds are out here, making their mixtapes or whatever, you want to say.
And 6-year-olds playing on Twitch and annoying the shit out of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's and we've talked about this several times, Ray, on the show. Is technology in the world it's just changing so much. And Jack, the thing is I remember. When I was in school, I actually bought several mixtapes that were made off of a keyboard, and I remember several of them were actually made off of a PS1. They were, and I mean, that right there was like technology at the time, but now it's like, what's a PS1?
When I first started making I used to do these things called pause mixtapes, and what we would do is you would listen to a song, and we would turn the radio on, put on little cassette tapes. And people who don't know what cassette tapes are, that means you're real young. Cassette tapes are these lovely little things that I walk around with back in the days. I used to put them on record and listen to the radio, and I would have a song playing, I'll be recording, and as soon as I think the song's about to stop, I'll press pause, and then wait for the next song that had the same groove, and then I'll hit pause so it can mix in.
Right off the radio.
It sounded like it went together whatsoever. But to me, I was like, I'm a pause mix DJ, and then from there I started, getting my stuff and becoming an actual DJ. But it's like you said, it's the progression of the technology and the music, and I have no problem with progression. I just wish that, and there's a lot of places that actually teach the art of DJing. There's a DJing school out in New York, which was created by Jam Master Jay. It still goes on in his memory, where they teach people exactly, the whole art form of DJing. And then, there's still, DJ competitions where people still scratch and, they do beat juggling. I know a guy by the name of DJ EL, who's a great beat juggler, where he's able to go back and forth with records. And I love that. But like you said, it's not as focused on now, because it's just like we're recording. It's so easy. Like, you don't have to go to the studio now to record an album. You don't have to go get a producer now to make a rap album. All you gotta do is go download the software and you go download some instrumentals and you're good to go.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying. It's like it's a dying breed, but we definitely. There's things that you like, and there's things that you grew up with that you don't want necessarily to go to the wayside. I mean, there's a lot of things that I grew up with, and that's a talent. I mean, it really is. And you know, like I said before, you know, we played the senior show, and we were only freshmen there. But the thing is, you know, I was a drummer, but damn, I couldn't do anything. I mean, I could make it sound horrible. I was good at the whole scratch thing, but I mean, if you mix it in, you're talking about an instrument that you can't really be taught on. You could be, you know, given lessons and in pointers, but you have to do it yourself. You have to find what works for you. Other than that, I mean, for instance, if you were to come out here and show Ray or come show myself, you know, how you do it, well, we're going to sound exactly like you, you know? So that's what really makes it in particular, and like, I would say, yeah, unique, you know, as far as an actual, you know, someone that plays on the vinyl is. There's not one way to do it. There's 1,000 ways, but there's one way that makes someone in particular versus the guy that he's battling or he's you know, against.
All right. Not to cut you off, Jack. You know, with all due respect, just to let everyone know, this is a different kind of interview. Even though it is, you know, classified as an interview, we actually know Jack, and we've actually talked with him and had interviews with him before. That's why it's sounding different than we just asking questions to Jack. And we know he's, you know, can come up on any topic, as we've seen before. But just to let anyone new listen.
All right, that's good.
Well, thank you. These type of interviews I love doing because, you know, as an artist, you don't really get to talk about like stuff you're very passionate about. You just get to talk about your project, promote it, boom, you get out, and you're done. You don't get to have like conversations. Like my first interview with Ray and Chrissy, I never forget. I don't know how we ended up on this subject, but we ended up talking about, you know, kid laws, and we talked about stuff that had totally nothing to do with music whatsoever, but it was the funnest interview. So people, if you get nervous because you hear us talking about crazy stuff that maybe you're not thinking you were going to tune into, stick around. We're going to hit a subject that you're going to love, and trust me, it's going to be many feet.
There you go. I mean, the thing about our interviews is we really want to, you know, know who the person is, because we believe that personality in this day and age trumps everything with the age of digital download, and everybody can download anything that they want, you know, from an artist at any time, which was not possible years ago. But then again, what we did with Trey, which you basically mentored, you know, coached, is you know, we had, you know, the interview with him, and you said that you worked for like different radio stations, like interning and whatnot, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you worked on any of these, okay, did you ever have a time where there were 17 people live that can ask questions at any time?
No, which is one of the benefits of the new digital age, is you can do stuff like that and have, you know, when I was doing radio interviews, you know, it was, you know, one person at a time, one person calling, and even when you had a group of people in the studio, you only had a certain number of mics, so only a certain number of people could talk at a certain time, and then you had to switch in and out. So the format that you use, which is why I like it so much, you know, makes it easier for there to be more people in on the conversation, and not just more people in on the conversation, but more people to, you know, ask questions and to be interviewed, which is cool.
Yeah, that's why we do it, and I firmly believe if a lot more people did this, that like did radio shows, that the regular radio shows no one would want to hear them anymore, because it'd be like, all right, yeah, I can listen to you, and you could play music, and you could do your one-on-one interviews, but I'm so far beyond that.
Yeah.
And you know, Ray, I mean, I don't mean to cut, you know, Jack off or anything, but I responded, and Jack may know this, but I actually responded to a Loco ad, and at first, I thought Too Loco was going to be, Spanish speaking, and that's what I've told, Chrissy D and Ray Ray, when I first met them. And, I came out, and of course, they don't speak Spanish or anything, but the thing is I was so intrigued. I was so...
Uno momento, por favor.
All right, now he's speaking Spanish. Tell you what, whenever we go on break, you're going to tell me what that meant. Because I don't...
1 minute, please.
Oh, 1 minute, please. Okay. It's like one of those Chinese fortune cookies, it teaches you how to write in Japanese or Chinese. I don't know how to do that. But no, what I was saying is the thing is when I responded, I thought there's like, okay, it's going to be like just a regular talk show, and I came out for the first time, and I was so like intrigued. Like I say, I could not believe what this studio has set up. I mean, it's unbelievable, and they keep it simple. It's always about the working man. It doesn't matter, what the working man's background is. That man's still working. So, and I think that's what's really special about Too Loco. That's why, I talked to Ray Ray and Chrissy D, and I asked them, if you don't mind, I'd like to be on the show as often as I can. And they said, hell, we don't mind. Normally, and I've done several, broadcasts over the internet here, and they're like, well, you've taken up enough time. And it's like, all right. But here at Too Loco, the thing is they'll if you're a working man, they will seriously talk to you. It doesn't matter if you sell cars or if you sell light bulbs, which I hate people that call me selling light bulbs. But I mean, in all reality, I mean, that's what Too Loco is. And he was talking about the 17 people at one time, and you responded to that and saying, well, when you were in a live studio, or the radio, they could do one at a time, or they're limited on mics. Technology has helped us, in a sense, and it has. But the thing is some things that we were accustomed to as a younger age, they're not so much as accustomed to now. I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
But here's the deal, though. Even though technology has helped us, technology in ways does hinder, because there are certain outlets that if you try to do things on, they don't mesh well. And there's other things out there that if you try to combine them, they don't mesh well. Like, we can't get this to go over to our normal outlet because it just won't. It won't work. Any way you look at it, it just won't work. If it don't work, then don't try to fix it because you're wasting your time.
I agree.
Yes,
okay.
I remember when Ray Ray and Chrissy D, they first got their new stuff to set over, and that was a long battle trying to figure out what the hell was going on with the stuff, and how come it wasn't sounding good, how come they were fading in and out, and that's the thing with technology. As it gets more advanced, it opens up more problems that can happen. Not to say that problems are always going to happen, but you always have that opportunity and that option for it to happen now, because stuff is getting so complex. You just can't say, okay, let me plug this into this, and then we're good to go. It has to be, you have to plug this into that, then turn that on, download this, make sure that's working. Then once that's working, you got to run it back into this. This is going to compress that and send it over to this signal. But see, if you're using that signal won't really, it becomes double jargon. Like you said, it's a dual-edged sword. Sometimes it works good, and sometimes you just want to throw everything into the trash can.
Exactly.
I do agree with that.
That's
agree
what it's
with
about. So we're going to go back to you, though. Okay, they know that you're a hell of a DJ. There is no doubt in that. As far as Hartford, you are the man. As far as DJ and everything. Now, I know that you were talking with your partner. We played that song that is like a remix of Wonderwall, which is fantastic. Before on our show. Why don't you tell people when you started, wanting to do it, being an MC, and what you talk about as far as an MC?
I started wanting to be an MC because the guys who I would hang with would be MCs, and they would rapping. You know, you see the guys rapping on the TV, then, you know, I'll be at my school and, you know, I'd be banging on the lunch table and guys would be rapping. And I always found it very, very enticing the way people were able to manipulate words and kind of get the crowd on their side by saying this a few things or referencing a few stuff, how they'll be able to catch people's attention. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to see if I can do this. So, you know, I wrote my first few rhymes, and as I look back now, because I still have my first rhyme book, and it's like, Jesus, this was horrible. This was completely horrible. I can never let anybody see this stuff. I may have to burn it after doing this interview now. But as I started, you know, progressing, and I like to give credit to the people who I was able to rhyme with, that helped me, you know, move my skills, you know, further, whether it was, you know, me and my original partner and my crew, Savage Business, my boy Devin, my boy Tony Pitts, my boy Jeremiah, when I was rolling with Ness Click, Nuffet Entertainment, the Brothers Grimm, which is me and my boy Tom Benjamin. I can't wait to finish our project. Even to my last crew, which was the home team, which was me, Mike Fever, who you know, my boy Kincaid the Bully, my boy Del Negro, and my boy Casino Downs, rest in peace. You know, everybody that I had a chance to rhyme with, that I had a chance to work with, I kind of took a little bit from them, because it's almost like when you're playing basketball with good players or better players, you start improving your game because of the company you keep. And, you know, taking all that in and kind of melting that into like one specific, you know, format for me is how I came up with my style. And my style is it's basic. You know, I write about the stuff I know, and I'm a geek. So most of my stuff has a lot of geek references, from comic books, movies, to wrestling. You know, but I'm also a dad, so, you know, paying bills and, you know, fighting with your child over, you know, does he really need these $500 pair of sneakers? Or, you know, I'm a working guy, so, you know, trying to pay my bills, working in the retail game, working with kids. And, you know, I talk about stuff that's relatable to me. And the fact that I do that makes it easier for other people to relate to what I do.
And here's what I want to say. I want to say that there's a big talk about, you know, being a DJ. You probably could relate to this in a way, but then again, you know, you're on the other side of the spectrum. People who, you know, playing instruments say, well, rhyming's so easy and everybody can do it and get everything right. Can you clarify to people how difficult it is to actually rhyme and actually be on beat and on key and actually get your stuff to flow right?
All right. It's and I always tell people rhyming comes easy for me, but that's, you know, I've been doing it for damn near all my life. So, you know, it of course it's going to be easy for it. When you talk to people who rhyme, it's easy for them because they've been doing it for a long time. They've got their own style and everything else. From the outside looking in, and I've tried to show people how to rhyme. And the thing about rhyming is there's so many different styles. What works for you, like you said, with you know, instruments and stuff, might not work for someone else. So I can come down there and show Ray how to write a verse. And he may or may not get it, because what works for me is not going to work for him. It's hard. It's hard to pick up timing. You just can't rhyme A, B, C. A, B, C. There's so many different patterns in instrumentals and beats nowadays. You got to learn how to either adapt to the style and the tempo of the beat, or to, you know, speed yourself up, or, you know, not everybody can rap certain styles and not everybody can rap about certain topics. It's hard. It's hard to sit there and try to figure out a new way to say something that's been said 5 million times. With so many people in the industry rapping, you know, say something as simple as, I think I'm the best. It's kind of hard to do because everybody says that they're the best. So now you got to figure out a new way to say it. And hopefully you figure out a new way to say it before someone else figures out the same way to say it, which sends you back to the drawing board. There's a lot of stuff that goes into, you know, being an MC and doing your craft? Do you want to go and be the street thug, or do you want to spit conscience, or you want to be the party guy or the ladies' man? And if you're going to do that, are you really that type of person? Because you can sit there, and I can sit here and I can write a rhyme about being a super thug, selling drugs, move away overseas, please, but I don't do that. So when I write it, people are going to know that I'm writing from a place of inexperience, because that's not who I am. So people will be able to say, that's not who he is. You can tell by the way he's using old terminology from TV shows that no one hasn't used in like 20 or 30 years. So it's difficult. It's very difficult.
Jack, not to cut you off here, but just for the listeners, can you explain what MC is? I mean, Ray and yourself and I, we know what MC is, but for those that are listening that may not know what MC is, could you let them know?
MC is basically master of ceremonies. So, and for those who have gone to graduation ceremonies, have gone to any type of celebration where they have a program that sets out how everything is going to go, one of the first people they name are going to be the MC, the master of ceremonies. And he's pretty much the guy that controls everything, which is pretty much what an MC does when he performs. He controls how things move. He controls the crowd, or move the crowd. MC.
Okay. All right.
And that's one of the cornerstones of what we call hip hop. You have your DJs, your producers, your dancers, your graffiti artists, but you also have the MC. And as and I tell people, as you can look at the whole hip hop genre, there are people who you can tell were good MCs, and there are people who were horrible MCs, and there are people who were just, he's okay, he's all right. Everybody doesn't want to be the all right. They want to be the big guy who gets, all the props. And then even when you become an MC, there's, like I said, there's so many styles. There's the MC that, is very intelligent. So he uses a lot of great big words, and, he's able to, eloquently describe things, great detail. And then you have your simple MC who's kind of more, I'm going to do something catchy because I know that can get your attention. So it's a big role to play in hip-hop.
Okay, all right. That way, I mean, like I said, that way for the listeners that don't know what MC is, but you definitely explained it very well.
All right, and one more thing to explain. Why don't you tell the people the difference between true hip hop and rap?
Okay, hip hop, as said by the Honorable Harris one, hip hop is the lifestyle. It is the environment. It's the culture. When you do hip hop, you not only rap, but you have dancers, you have graffiti writers. It's now, and I tell people now it's going into like branding. We have the clothing lines and things of that nature. Hip hop is almost a way of life. When you rap, you're just rapping. You're the guy who puts the words over the beat. That's what rapping is. And for a long time, rap was confused with hip-hop. People just couldn't understand that hip-hop is more of a culture. It's more of I want to say a movement. So say if Ray had, he was listening to Tupac, and, he had the baggy pants and the baseball cap, and he talked with the slang. He's doing the hip-hop thing. He's doing the hip-hop thing. No matter how people want to say he's acting black, it's not him acting black. He's doing the whole hip-hop thing. That's the culture. But if Ray was just, getting on a beat and just rapping and dressing normal, he's rapping. He's a rapper. There's a big difference between the two, even though not many people see it.
That's a good analogy.
And you know what? This is the thing. I don't know if you've heard, the shows, but I'm a big YouTube surfer. I am. And, you brought up Tupac there. And, there's a thing, you know, with Tupac and Biggie, and then, you know, I mean, they were a group, or, you know, they started, they were mixing together, and then, you know, shit went bad and beef, whatever. But, you know, the thing is the way I look at it, and I mean, in today's time, you know, as far as rap or, you know, R&B or hip hop, however you would, you know, want to look at it, you know, a majority of the artists are trying to represent, or are representing, a certain group, if you will. But what I like to look at is the talent in the individual. Whether they're, you know, throwing one way or they're throwing another way, it's the talent is what I look. And this is it, right? I mean, really, this is what I like to look at is the talent, not necessarily, you know, what they're throwing or you know, representing or anything. Because I mean, you've got so many talented people in New York. You got people in Florida, California, Washington. Yeah, I mean, look, Kansas, Tech 9. I mean, it's everywhere. So I think if we could, you know, kind of look at the talent versus what they're, you know, they're trying to represent. And you were talking earlier, like the whole clothing line and the shoes and everything else. Yeah, it's more money in their pocket, but in all reality, it's the talent. And this is just my opinion, but it's the talent is what sells. And that's just my opinion only.
Well, here's the thing, and I've had this talk with many of my friends. Hip-hop only became a business when it became too large to stay on the underground scene. So when hip-hop first came out, it was strictly an underground party thing. You know, you go to a party, they may have two guys who are real good rhymers, so they'll get up there and they'll start rapping over a beat to kind of get the crowd going, to get the crowd excited for the DJ. As the craft got older and it started to mature, it became more of a speaking point where, you know, you had your guys talking about the plight in the cities, or, you know, issues that they felt weren't being covered in the media. And as people started to realize the infectious nature of hip-hop had to become a business in order to survive. Hip-hop went the way of every other great music craft. As soon as you get big enough, you have to business yourself. Now, the problem is when hip-hop became a business, there came a formula that went along with the business. So A&Rs and people in charge of labels, they go, okay, I could take the conscious rapper who has immense talent, who could talk about anything and make anything entertaining, and I could probably push him. But then I have this guy who is the embodiment of every stereotype that I know. And I know I can get him and get that shock nature and make more money, because that's the bad boy. And as we all know, bad boys sell. So they pushed this image, and all of a sudden hip-hop became coastal. It became East Coast and West Coast. It became a coastal thing. And then it went from a coastal thing to a ideology thing, where we became mobsters. We went from mobsters to gangsters. Then from gangsters to trappers and drug dealers. And now, as you notice, as hip-hop has gotten older and matured, we are seeing more of the extravagant lifestyle of the people from the Hamptons, you know, buying, you know, the art and, you know, going to the real expensive, you know, clothing stores. Now, in saying that, as each progression and mutation, as I like to say, in hip-hop has been made, there has always been a strong group of talented artists that will never, ever, 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 ever get the recognition they do, because we've gotten so far as fans to follow whatever the trend is that we no longer pay attention to the guys who are very, very talented, and we get swept up in these guys who don't have a talent in their little pinky. And the record companies know that. we become a short attention span. So they just push you to stuff that they know is going to catch you real quick. It's going to get all your money and then be gone the next day. There haven't been really artists with staying power. You know, like classic music, you had those classic artists. If I go, name me 3 classic rock bands, I know that one of them is going to be the Beatles, we're going to have Led Zeppelin, we're going to have Black Sabbath, we're going to have Cream, we're going to have Metallica, Pantera, artists who were made to last. But if you look at the current crop of rock artists and you go, which rock artist out now looks like they'll have staying power? Couldn't tell me. It's just like with hip hop. When you ask greatest in hip hop, people always name Biggie, Tupac, Rakim, Jay-Z, people who have staying power. But if you look at the current scene of hip hop and you go, who do you think 20 years from now will have the same effect as some of our older hip hop icons? You can't really say anybody.
Well, what's screwed up about it, though? To be honest with you, if you take Tupac for example, and you take his songs, and you take things like Brenda's Got a Baby, like Unconditional Love, which should have got more airplay than it did. Changes. To me, that's real Tupac. The ones where he was, talking about, being on the streets, shooting this and shooting that, I think that's just a selling point. Would you agree or would you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, let me not be foolish enough to think that, you some way somehow the music industry will find a way to get you to do what they need to do in order to get your album out. They'll tell you, okay, Ray, you're one of the best conscious rappers I know, but in order for us to get the fans to listen to your conscious rap, we got to give them something that they like to listen to. So I need you to do like 1 or 2 club songs about girls shaking their asses, and then I can get the radio spins for that, and then that is the worm that hooks people in, and then you can do your conscious stuff and preach to the people. That's how the game is. If you look at any big artist that's come out, it's usually going to be this format. They're going to have, nowadays, they're going to have a song for either the streets or the club, which means it's either going to be a street, what they call a street anthem, where everybody in the street can get behind and, get a little wild, or it'll be a club joint where it gets a lot of spins inside the club. Now, once those artists do that, when you go and listen to their album, they'll have conscious stuff sprinkled within the album. Like Tupac will have Hit 'Em Up, and then he'll have like a Dear Mama, Brenda's Baby. You have Changes, and you have California Love. That's just how the record companies sell us on how to push our product to our fans. Do you see the backwards nature of that? Label is telling you who got the fans in the first place how to keep your own fans. And we as artists, we're so happy to be signed and get a deal that we listen to people telling us how to do our job. It's like a guy who's flipping burgers at McDonald's coming to local radio and trying to tell Ray how to do an interview show. What? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they do. And like I said, you understand, most of the artists that get signed have never seen a big amount of money right now. They've never seen large amounts of money. And when I say large amount of money, I'm talking, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. They don't see that money. So when you go, hey, I have $30,000 right here for you. All I need you to do is this, and you're coming from nothing, you're going to jump on that. You're going to jump on that, and you're going to jump to whatever hoops they want you to do. And that is how our music has gone from, like Temple said, something that has talent or shows skill to something that, I can get one of my kids from my program to write a song.
Auto-tune.
Yeah, and put auto-tune on it, put a real catchy beat behind it, and it become a hit. because there's no craftsmanship. There's no craftsmanship. There's no staying true to. And this is all because a label will sign an artist because he has a big fan, and then they will change the artist. So they virtually will change what brought them to the artist in the first place, and then the artist is different from when you first heard him. Like if you listen to early Eminem stuff, it sounds different from current Eminem stuff because earlier Eminem was hungry. You know, he didn't have the big money behind him. He was just doing it for the love. But now, current Eminem, he has money. So, you know, a lot of his stuff, you know, doesn't really flow right with some of his original stuff.
I'll agree with that. And, I mean, especially if you look at Rap God, you know, his latest one out now. If you look at just the message that is in his music, I mean, first of all, you can look at the cover. I mean, I think that once you get so far and you know, you start out, like you said, you were hungry, you know, they're hungry for it. But after you get so much recognition, you start pulling so much, you got to figure out what your next big thing is. And that may be a clothing line, as we were talking about earlier. You know, that may be a shoe line or whatever it may be.
That's because they have no choice in the matter.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to find what's the next biggest thing to keep you out there, right? Because I mean, you got to stay on top of the game. You have to, right? I mean, you got to battle to stay on, you know, on top or the top 5 at least.
What's
well, as an artist, your life expectancy is the amount of time your single stays on the radio. If you're a big artist, your relevancy is how long you can keep in the top radio spins. So you have artists who will come out and legitimately will be classified as one-hit wonders because they've only had, you know, one hit that has gotten a lot of radio spins, but in reality, they've had a bunch of music. Tupac, as much as everybody loves him, would be considered a one-hit wonder. He's only had one big, and now people don't get up arms when I say this. I'm not talking about R&B and hip-hop charts. I'm talking about pop charts. I'm talking all around radio play. He's considered a one-hit wonder. I have one of my favorite artists is Jay-Z, and Jay-Z just got in like I think it was in his last 4 or 3 albums, like his second or third number 1 hit. So, you know, as an artist, your life expectancy is very quick because, one, everybody's doing the same style that you're doing. If you look at hip-hop right now, you can just see the similarities in almost every street MC, any female MC, you know, that's in the mainstream. I'm not talking about underground, but mainstream. So you got everybody doing the same thing. So as you're putting your album out or you're putting your single out and it's hitting the charts, you have the next artist behind you who's doing the same thing, who's waiting for you to slow down in spins so they can release their song and push you out the way. And that's all it is. It's a virtual fight.
Well, here's something you're only going to hear on Too Local. You won't hear this anywhere else. I guarantee it. Or if you do, it'd be like another show like ours. Would you agree or would you not agree that most new artists that sign labels are basically like a college scam? In the fact of they have not received a dime from these A&R reps. They are using everything as borrowed money, and then eventually they get their money to pay it back. But that's why they go bankrupt, because they overspend.
Okay, when it comes down to signing your deal as an artist, and this is any artist, you know, no matter what the genre. First of all, when you get signed, you have to find out if you're getting signed to what's called a single deal or a full-fledged album deal, or if you're just being signed to make a quota. A lot of artists don't realize this, but labels, every label department has a quota of artists that it must sign and put product out for. So let's just say Interscope Records has to make sure they have at least 100 rock acts signed, and at least 50 of those rock acts have to have a single out on radio. Which means for the artists who get signed as a quota, your life expectancy is only at the most one single. That's all they're guaranteed to help you put out. Then after that, it's all you. Then you go to your single artist who maybe has a great YouTube following, has a video tour where they shot themselves, and they've cultivated a fan base. Okay, label now signs you to a single deal, and they put everything behind that single. So if you blow up off that single, you're good to go. But if you don't, you're dead in the water, and you'll be dropped by the next quarter. Then you have your album. You got your artist signed to album deals. Now, this is how they test you. They give you a signing bonus. Signing bonus is temporary. It's used to help get your stuff out there. What artists don't realize is you have to pay that back. It's borrowing money. It's a loan. Your signing bonus is a loan from the label. So that if you turn on, you got to pay that back. Now, how do you pay that back? People would think with the album sales. No. Artists don't get a lot of money off their album sales unless they're independent or they sign what's called a distributing deal, which means they only go to the label just to distribute everything. At the most, an artist can get anywhere between, say, a record sells for $10, an artist is getting, at the most, say, $2. Or even more specific than that, they get 6 to 8 cents on a buck off a $10 album. Okay? Now, I want you to put that in your mind and think if you're paying back $30,000 and you're only making 8 cents on a buck.
All right, and I'm not trying to cut you off, but what people don't understand is the IRS is still going to take the same amount out, whether you're making a million or 100,000. They're going to take the same amount out that you used to,
unless you bounce to a higher tax bracket. If the label has you down as making enough where you bounce to a higher tax bracket, they're going to take out more, which is also a drawback.
And then until you get that straightened out, they're going to continuously take out more.
Yeah. So now you have a lot of artists who, like, you see TLC and Will Smith, who by all means should be multi-millionaires, but went bankrupt because not only were they not, they weren't really making money, they weren't watching their money. So the person who they had watching their money went willy-nilly, they had to sign for bankruptcy. Or, like in Will Smith's case, you were spending your money faster than you were making it. You're thinking you're making this big amount of money because you got singles and videos on TV, and in reality, you're not. And people are only giving you stuff off the potential of money that you're making. And that's what a lot of artists don't realize either, is that when you get signed to these big deals and then all of a sudden you drop this big single on the radio, and then you got people handing you cars and houses and clothing and stuff, they're doing that because they think you are going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, and what's funny is these artists think because it's jewelry company that knows you're a big time artist, it's like, okay, yeah, just have this on the house on us. They don't realize that really what the jewelry company is saying is, okay, yeah, your record label has enough to pay us back. So we're going to get our money back, even though we told you it was on the house.
Yeah. And then you get to a point where you go places and they'll, as people normally would use credit to get stuff. You're famed because you're credit. So you go to a car dealership and they go, oh, you know what? You really have to do no paperwork. You sign here and, I know you'd be good to make the payments on the car because you're a big recording artist. The next thing you know, your label drops you. You're not making that money. You can't pay back the dealership on the payment on the car that you just got, that they gave to you because you're a cool person. It's all these little things. It's just like when you get to college. You ever notice when you get to college, that's when you get all the emails and letters for, like, credit cards with, like, these crazy limits, and you're like, how did I get a $5,000 limit? Fuck it, I'll take the card, and you spend, only paying off the minimum, not realizing that you're getting, your APR is kicking you in your ass, and by the time you realize everything older, you're in debt.
It'll take you 20 years to pay it off if you're paying only the minimum. I mean, it takes forever.
The music industry. The music industry is college, and they're giving you credit cards. That's all it is. And some artists, the only way they can make money is going on tour. And even then, they don't make that much money. You understand? To make big bank, don't let these artists fool you. There's a video by a group called The Roots, which is one of my favorite groups. There's a song called Things They Do, and it's a spoof video. And they show you one scene, and then they show you behind the scenes.
All right. Rewind. Can you say the name of the artist and the track one more time?
The artist's name are The Roots. Now, some of you may know them because they're on the Jimmy Fallon show. They're his stage band. But they're called The Roots, and the song is called Things We Do. And in the video, it's a spoof, but they kind of show the truth behind a lot of the things that people normally see in the music video. Like, there's a scene where you see guys and they got bottles of champagne in their hand, and they're shaking the bottles and spraying everybody with it, and it's like 20 or 30 bottles. That's one scene. And then you flip, and it goes behind the scene, and you see a bunch of production people filling up those same bottles with ginger ale, because ginger ale looks so much like champagne. So what you think is champagne is not really champagne. Or that leaks. Go ahead.
I think that's the video where at the end YouTube has actually, they actually had a message at the end, and YouTube actually, made it so foggy that you can't see the message.
Yes. And I mean, and that's what the industry is. Not many people are very, very rich in the music industry unless they have done what we like to call branding, like a Jay-Z or a Dr. Dre, a 50 Cent, unless they've gone outside of just being MCs.
Exactly, like Jay-Z and his clothing line.
Yeah, there's not that much money in being a rapper or MC anymore. There's not. It's unless you do underground stuff where you can kind of get a more bigger percentage of your money to be a mainstream artist, a side artist. You're not making that money. When you see all these guys and they're flashing money and they're tossing money up in the air and they're big balling, they're not really big balling. That money's borrowed money. The house you see them in is a rented house. That car is not their car. Don't let people fool you. They put the image up because that image is what gets you to buy into what they're selling. When they go, yeah, I'm balling, taking trips overseas, and you see them throwing money in the air, you go, wow, he must be really doing that, because why else would he be throwing money up in the air? And then in reality, she's in a small apartment, and he's working check from the label because he's really not balling. He has to pay off for all the stuff he rented from the last video.
But yet he's got a rent-to-own house off of, the put on MTV Cribs.
Well, I was going to say, in all reality, they may be throwing hundreds, in their shoot their video, but it's actually borrowed, is what it is. They'll pay, a percentage, and maybe you let me borrow 1,000 and I'll shoot you, $1,150 back or $1,200 back,
or it's just fake money that they're just throwing up there to make it look good.
Yeah, it's a lot of what we like to call the barter system. Like, if I know that, Temp has like this crazy looking house with a crazy pool, I'm like, yo, this is what we do. I'll put you in the video, get a bunch of girls to be around you, let me front like this is my house. Okay, I'll pretend like this is my house, and then I'll have you fight in the pool area, and we'll put like 15 girls. Temp goes, okay, 15? You make it 17? We can do this. It's 17. I'm okay, we'll give you 17. And next thing you know, I'm at his house, pretend like it's mine, saying I'm not paying one net bill on it, but I'm fronting like it's mine. And, since Temp is in the video, he becomes part of my entourage. He gets the benefit off the fake image I'm putting up. He doesn't care. And that's what happens. Or he goes, okay, you know what? If you put me in this video, I'll give you the 20,000 that you can pretend like it's yours to throw up in the air. All right, cool, no problem. We'll jump in the video. Next thing you know, he gives me the money. But you know what? After I finish tossing the money in the air, when the cameras roll off, I'm sitting there picking it back up so I can give it back to his ass. I can't afford to owe him any money.
So basically, it's like the high school kids that are flossing the phone.
Pretty much. $500 phone, still riding the bus. That's pretty much what it is.
And the phone's off.
That's
Wow.
the thing. But Tef, in defense, when you look for guys with talent, if you look, there's a lot of underground MCs who have a talent, and there's a lot of good, and I always argue with people, there's a lot of great female MCs with talent who don't have to be sexual in order to get their message across. As I tell people, the problem is, as fans, and I'm not talking about you guys, I'm talking about other fans, people know what I'm talking about. As fans, we don't realize we have the buying power. If all the fans would get together and say, we will no longer support Justin Bieber would fade out of existence. He would. That's just how powerful the fans are. But the fans are so busy trying to be cool and trying to keep up with the fad that they don't realize their power, so they sit here and they support artists who 9 times out of 10 they really don't like. But they listen to because this cute girl listens to Justin Bieber, and I want to seem like I'm cool and I want to get with her, so I'm going to make sure I know about Justin Bieber so whenever I talk to her, I can talk about something she knows. So then being a music fan goes from liking the music to how can I use this music to further my position in life? It no longer is about the craftsmanship or the skill. It becomes, how can this help me get in good with my boss? Because my boss is a Leonard Skinner fan. So I don't really listen to them, but I'm going to listen to them and support their music so I can talk to my boss about it and have something to talk to him about when we get to work. Or I don't really like Lil Wayne. I don't like his music. I don't like Lil Wayne. I don't like Nicki Minaj. But the cute girl at the gas station, that's all she does is quote Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne, and I want to get with her. So I'm going to try to sound like I'm cool and listen to Lil Wayne and Nicki, so when I talk to her, I have something to talk about and seem cool. There's no more, it's like fanship is gone.
Well, here's the other thing, okay? This is the only thing that you're going to hear on Too Local. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. Not to say that we're better than anybody, but I got facts. The fact is, in Connecticut, where you're from, it is the number one buyer of music, actually CDs. That's a fact. However, the artists out in Connecticut, be it rock stars, rap stars, whatever, hip hop, jazz, whatever, they have them hating on each other so much that instead of building that, bond in Connecticut and, having that being the number one spot, New York is, or California is, or somewhere else is, and here's the other thing. All the record labels are owned by people that aren't even in the United States.
Well, that's a perfect point. And one of the reasons that point is because for so long, Connecticut never really had a big identity music-wise. So we emulated whatever seemed to be working at the moment. At the time, New York was the big thing. So we tried to be like New York. And what happens is the label goes, yeah, why would I want you when I can actually go to New York and get an artist? Well, because I can do it this way, I can do it a lot better. Yeah, but there's about 10 guys in Connecticut that does the same thing. Well, no, he's not really real. See, I actually am real because I've been to New York a few times, and he was only seen it in, TV. So then we start fighting each other for a position that 9 times out of 10 we're not going to get because we don't have our own identity. If you look at the Connecticut music scene as the music scene itself as a whole has progressed, we've taken on the identity of every fad. Now, before, let's say, 2 or 3 years ago, no one in Connecticut was talking about being in the trap. No one knew what the trap was. Everybody said, trap, oh, that's where I put the cheese on so the mice can get caught in this so I can get them out of my building. That's what everybody thought a trap was. Now, everybody in Connecticut is trapping. We're trapping and doing drug stuff. Because we see that's being popular somewhere else. So we lose our identity, and then for the little spot that we can get, we fight each other for saying he's not as real as me because I'm really trapping. I actually been down south to trap. Well, no, you're not really trapping. You're in Connecticut. We don't trap here. We deal drugs. I can attest we deal drugs. We don't trap. We've never called it trapping. We're taking someone else's lane or trying to make it ours, and nobody really falls for that. So then when people go to the Connecticut show and they see all these artists, they go, well, you're just like the guy I saw in New York, but he's really from New York, so why should I support you? And you're like,
Exactly, and what drove me nuts is when I lived in, because we're originally from Connecticut. Well, us two are. The issue is when Connecticut is rolling with New York gear, that's the problem I have. Okay, you're not proud of where you're from, and not only are you not proud of where you're from, it's just like somebody out here in Tennessee rolling out in Texas gear. You know what I'm saying? Or South Carolina. It doesn't make any freaking sense. It's like everybody wants to be out here would want to be Atlanta. It's like everybody in Connecticut wants to be New York, but you have the industry right in Connecticut. But what they do is they take these, especially in hip hop, they make an illusion that you all hate each other. So Hartford hates New Haven. New Haven hates Bridgeport. Everybody hates each other. So nobody's trying to build together to try to bring the talent from there to a different place. Kind of like, out in Tennessee, the one thing I can say about Tennessee is a lot of the artists actually work together to help each other out to get somewhere. That's why you've got that big thing in Nashville.
Well, that's because the record labels tell you, okay, we'll mess with you guys out in Connecticut, but we only have, let's say, 3 slots. So instead of someone going, okay, if I get one of the 3 slots, what I can do is turn around and feature some other Connecticut artists who didn't get that spot on my project or kind of help co-sign them to get them going. No one thinks about that. Because that's how easy it is. If there were 3 slots in the industry and someone said, okay, Dan, I'll give you this spot. We want Jack Nickelz to become big. All right, cool. No problem. Now, when I'm recording my project, I'm like, listen, I got my boy Ray, I got Chrissy D, I got Temp, I got Mike Fever, I got Trey Tuck. I'm going to put these people on my album to help them get out. That's how it should be.
And Snow.
Yeah, and Snow. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. You should always be looking back to help someone from where you're from.
Not to cut you off there, Jack, but the thing is, as I said before, with Too Loco, it's the working man trying to help the working man. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your fucking beliefs are. In all reality, you're out there, you're working to make $1. And that's just, it's it. It doesn't matter how you want to, classify it. I don't care how you classify it. But the thing is, if the small ones, if you will, if you want to classify it as that, the small ones, the little ones, the guppies, if the guppies don't come together to put each other out, the guppies will literally be guppies. And then they'll be bait. They'll be food.
Yeah, pawns on the chessboard.
I mean, seriously, that's exactly what it is.
But you know why they do that? But they do that because they know if the guppies get together, if all the small artists would get together and band up against the larger labels, they would take over. So what the large labels do is they appeal to the egos of the smaller guys. Go, listen, you're good, but this guy right now, he has the spins because people think he's the realest out there. But if somehow you can prove that you're the realest out here, I would sign you. So the next thing you know, you got all this infighting within local artists because they know if the local artists get together, let's be honest. Let's clear the cards off the table and be honest. Today, in the music industry today, there is honestly, truly no need for the major label. Major labels are dying as we speak because it's no longer needed to have them to release a product and 2 tours. Tech Nine is the perfect example of that. Tech Nine has made a career with no real major label backing. None whatsoever. And he has an insane fan base. And he's been able to record with major league back stars because his push has been that strong. If every independent artist would follow his example, or say like a Master P's example, Master P did everything he did with no major backing. And that's from the movies to, you know.
Well, you could say the same thing about KRS-One, though.
But KRS-One has some major label backing. He was signed to Jack and a few little labels. But when his time with the major label faded, he was able to maintain his stance in hip hop by himself. So it's half wrong, half right. But there's a lot of artists, a lot of independent artists, and let's be honest, I wouldn't consider KRS-One a little guppy artist. I could never put him in that category. Maybe early in his career, maybe, but nowadays, if you look at all the independent artists that are out there, they would follow the examples of, say, like a Tech Nine. Our industry would be different. Right now, we still think we need major labels in order to do something. So that's why they're still around, but they're dying because you have all these artists leaving major labels and releasing stuff on their own. 50 Cent just left his label, and 50 Cent is still out there. Nobody says a big artist who's making big moves. He left his label for the independent route. I've seen other artists leave their labels for the independent route because labels, it's a death trap. They want you to sign all these crazy deals because they're losing money, and that's the only way they can get money. You know, so I mean, we all just say, you know, F it. I'm gonna see exactly what Tech Nine did, and I'm gonna follow his diagram, and I'm gonna see if it works for me. The industry would be different, and we wouldn't have the problems we have now. But since the major labels know how to appeal to our ego and to keep us fighting, it'll never happen.
The thing about it, here's the thing that I never understood. For years, I heard, well, you know, Connecticut's just trying to get on the map. We're just trying to get on the map. Trying to get on the map. And I'm thinking to myself, you are the fucking map. If you are the number one sales out of the whole United States as far as albums, how the hell are you trying to get on something you already are?
That's because people have convinced us that unless we get certain recognition, we're not there yet. A lot of people don't know. Okay, Michael Bolton. People may like him, people may not. Great pop singer. Famous. From Connecticut. Eminem had a song called We Made You, which was one of his biggest hits. That song was produced by a producer from Connecticut. The singer on the hook was from Connecticut. We have made it into the industry. We have gotten our foot in the door, but they have gotten us so confused and got us so lost because we don't have our own identity that we don't realize we're already there. We just have to take advantage of the opportunities left in front of us. You know, we're there. We're right there. We have artists who have been, you know, one of my favorite artists and a close friend, not close personal friend, but a guy I know is named Apathy. Great artist out of Connecticut. You know, signed to a major label. Didn't really work out. Has been doing his own thing independently and making a name for himself. Because at the end of the day, he realized he doesn't need the major label and that we're already there. All he has to do is to put in the footwork. And that's what a lot of these artists nowadays need to realize. You put in the footwork, we're already there. You just have to make those steps forward that people will see we're moving forward and they'll get behind you. But if you're just standing at the door looking in, no one's going to open it for you. It's just like if you have a guest and Ray Ray's having a party and Chrissy comes to the party and she just looks in the window. Oh, who's the creep looking in the window? But if you go to the door, knock, hey, I'm here to join the party. Guess what? 9 times out of 10? All right, come in. But we're just standing at the door. We're not knocking. We're just standing looking at this door like someone should be opening it for us. That's not the case. It's never going to happen waiting for someone to do it for you.
Very true.
I mean, I tell that to any artist I work with. I said, if you are expecting someone to open the door and let you know that you finally made it, you'll be waiting for a long time. No one's going to tell you you made it. People don't join you to tell you you made it. People join you to tell you we knew you were going to do this. That's when you see the people. You don't see the people when, you know, Ray Ray gets signed to Shady Records and he's on Shade 45, XFM radio, and him and Chrissy and Temp are doing these big shows and these big artists coming in. You know, that's when people are going to come to you guys and go, hey, we always knew you guys had a good radio show and that you were meant for good things. they're not going to jump on you when you guys are doing shows like this and you're pretty much already there. You just that right artist to come on. They're not going to talk to you then. They're going to talk to you after you got big, after you got signed, after you guys have moved out your house, got a nice little crib somewhere in Miami, and you guys are soaking up sun, and you got money to spend. That's when they're going to talk to you, and they're going to congratulate you. But they're never going to tell you, hey, go. You're in now. No one's ever going to tell you that. They're going to say, hey, welcome. We knew you would get here. Well, shit, if that's the case, how come you didn't support us when we were first doing the damn show? That's just the mentality of people.
And not to cut you off there, Ray, but the thing is as we've said before, you know, it's the small ones that come together. That I mean, and if you look at every movement that's been done, and I mean, in world history, there's a bunch of small people that came together and started. I wouldn't say like an upruling, but they didn't necessarily agree with the way the government was working, or they didn't necessarily agree with the way a system was working. So if the small ones don't come together, I mean, it's just the ones that are on top, and they'll always be on top. In a sense, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it only takes, you know, I tell people, it takes that one group to sacrifice themselves before anybody else notices that, hey, maybe this can work. It's like, you know, okay, I have to see you guys go and crash against the wall before I say this is what I want to do. A lot of people don't want to be that first one to take the steps. No one ever wants to, you know, throw the first punch. And that's the problem. Like you said, if just a small group of artists would just say, F it, let's go for it. And
you know, and
so everybody else will jump on it.
And here's the deal, okay? Our cities, our country, whatever way you want to say it, I'm not even going to get political, but I'm going to say it like this. Everything in one time was made in America. Everything now is anything but America. Now, if you have like all the labels that run things that are not from America, then of course they're going to get pissed if you have a bunch of people, you know, from a certain city or a town or, you know, a state saying, okay, hey, we're not going to take it because they're not from here and they want their money.
Oh, yeah, you know, being that a majority of things are not here makes things a lot harder, but it doesn't mean it can't be done. See, that's the problem. People will say, okay, it's not done here, so it's going to be hard for me to impress. I hear it all the time. Well, it's going to be hard for me to impress this white Jewish guy because he's not from my hood. You know, how am I going to impress him if we don't talk about the same things or we don't do the same thing? Listen, the white Jewish guy who's running the big record label is not going to sign you because you scream Mazel Tov or because you have a circumcision. He's going to sign you because you're doing something. And you're doing enough of something that everybody else is noticing. And he wants to capitalize on you doing something before someone else does. That's what it is. And that's what you have to do. When you try to, when you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So it's all about making someone notice you and making them feel like I have to get this artist before someone else does. But to do that, you got to put in the work. You just can't not put in the work. You just can't say, you know, I just can't say, okay, you know, 2 Local Radio isn't in Connecticut, so I can't, you know, do work with them.
Yeah, I can't fuck with them.
Yeah, that's they're, no matter where they're from, if it's an outlet and they're reaching a community, then you do something with them. You know, I worked with artists that aren't from Connecticut, and I don't do it because I know that's a fan base that I can't touch by myself from here. So I know if I do something with this artist from there, my name will get out there. People got to learn to do that work.
Yeah, you know, this is another thing, and I may be pushing boundaries with certain, you know, listeners and everything else, but you know, you just brought up a very, very, very vital, I should say, point. talking about, you said that it was, we'll just give it another name, the blue collar people that are basically working for the white collar. I'm from Tennessee. I was born and raised here. But, the thing is, if you look at every job, if you look at it, and it doesn't matter what you do, whether, like you said before, you're flipping burgers or you could be a mainstream rapper, there's always someone over you. And that's the thing. And this is something that I try to get out there is if an individual could come together with several other individuals with the same mind spec to start their own, we're talking record deals now. We'll use that as an example. If they could come together now, they're not going to be mainstream. They're not going to be world known. They're not, not going to be the flashy, whatever it may be. But if you can get literally 5 guys together and start your own record deal, and you may have to, sling it, literally at clubs. And then, you got YouTube out there that you may be able to use versus...
Or stage it.
Right, exactly. Versus going through what I call these white collar, and that's what they are. They're people that make money off of people making money, and they literally do nothing but move a pin. And that's my personal opinion. And like I said, Tempo's he's got a saying here on Too Loco, and it's piss on you. And I'm not talking about the people that are working for the money. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that are taking the money from the people that do work for the money. The thing is if you can get, like I say, 5 guys, and this is just hypothetically speaking, okay, just a scenario. If you get 5 guys that are true about what they do, and they start their own, like I say, we're talking about record deals here, start their own small recording studio, okay, the technology's there. They come together, they do what they can do, and they start publicizing this, okay? And you get people on board, right? I mean, it's not going to be flashy. You're not going to see it on BET. But you know what? After a while, so many people are following this, like Ray said, on YouTube.
They could tool.
The thing is, what? The media is going to have to shift because the media is the one that wants to make the money off of the working man. So if the working man comes together with several other working men and say, we're tired of doing this, the media has no choice. I mean, sure, they can keep playing the same people they've been playing for 10, 15 years, but you know what? It's not the new hot thing. They have to move. They would have to.
Here's the catch. Your idea is a surefire idea. It's an idea that tried forever. It's been tried forever. People are still doing it. The problem is, a lot of people don't have the wherewithal to stay for the long haul. See, when you do stuff like you forego major labels, you do everything yourself, you get a group of guys together, and you forage towards the industry as an entity together, a lot of people don't realize that you're not going to see results as quick as you would if you had a major label back in. Which is another reason why a lot of people go to major labels, because major labels will get you that automatic response. Get you that automatic result.
And not to cut you off. Okay, but to say basically what you're saying for those that listen, watch the NFL. Okay, nobody talks about the offensive line. The offensive line does everything to help the quarterback, make sure that the wide receiver has time to get open, and make sure that the running back is okay. But everybody is talking about the quarterback, the running back, the tight end, and the wide receiver. Who is that? The major label. Because the offensive line is boring to watch. It takes longer for them to get there, which is the little people.
But what and the thing is what I'm getting from Jack there is it's what sells. I mean, the nose end He's not the one that scores that touchdown.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I, you know what? Now that you all put it that way, I do agree. But I am one that, and I'm starting an organization. I've been working on this for a little over 9 months now, and it's going to be called One Brother, Brother One, 1BB1, and it's seriously a group where the working man can join the working man. You can call it a union, if you will. And if your house was to catch fire and you didn't have insurance, guess what? You got it with us. It's right there. If you pay $1 a month, if that's all you can afford, that's fine. If you can throw $25 a month, that's great. But it's not relying on the big man anymore. We're not relying on Allstate or Geico or any of these other. No. We're relying on each other because, and exactly. It was what Chrissy, go ahead.
That's exactly the way it was back in the day. Like in places like, we'll use Tennessee for an example. Let's say a farmer's barn burns down. A bunch of people from the surrounding area, depending on where in Tennessee or where in whatever state, Mississippi or wherever.
They would come from miles around. Yep, I promise you.
Rebuild that barn or that house or whatever.
They would, literally. And they would help replant all of that.
Yep, everything they lost. Yeah.
Thing is, that mentality is held by a certain particular group. So when I tell people about this group, they're going to be like, really? Yeah. Bikers. Listeners who are bikers, you know this to be true. Bikers will pull together for their brothers. If you have a cut,
I know it.
Okay, you're in trouble, bikers will come together. I've seen bikers rally together over just something that probably didn't even affect all of them. But because it happened to one of their brothers, they got together, they did fundraisers, they did everything they needed to do to help out. And that's the mentality we need to have as artists and as people in general.
It doesn't, and that's the thing with bikers, it's kind of funny you brought that up. I have several biker friends, but the thing is it really, in that mentality or that group, if you will, it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, it really doesn't matter. And the thing is actually several different MCs, if you will, and that's in bike world is motorcycle club. Okay, they're not gangs, they're clubs. But in all reality, if some serious shit went down, especially with the government, the other MC will definitely be there. I guarantee you.
But that's not only bikers, that's also old school truckers.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If you bring that union mentality, and that's the best way I can explain it, is a union. But it's not really a union. But if you could bring that mentality back, and it'd be hard as hell. I'm struggling. I've been doing it for 9 months. Struggling. But if I could get that, and this is the way I look at it, Jack, is if I can get one person, just one person to see as I see, and I'm not saying I'm correct, because I could be as far off as left field, but if I can get one person to see it as I see, then they may be able to spread it to one or two other people, and those two people may be able to spread it to one or two people. So it's kind of that snowball effect, right? It's kind of you help your neighbor. And earlier we were talking about, the guppies helping the guppies. That way they don't become bait. And if you can get every organization to do this, whether, you want to rap or whether you want to be a pop star or you want to be someone picking, a banjo for a bluegrass, if everyone has the same mentality, son, it'd be so much better. It really would.
But here's the problem. They don't. I know till this day, people that listen to metal will not touch rap, and there's people that listen to rap that won't touch metal. It is what it is. What it is,
and that's fine. That's fine. Okay, you got these people out here, that are hard set on their beliefs. Okay, and everyone knows this, right? Everyone's hard set on their beliefs. Okay, whatever. And if if that's your case, that's your case. But the people that aren't hard set, these are the ones that we should try to work with. You know, we should try to mingle, if you will. If we bring everyone together, you know, as sobby and as sweet as it sounds, you know, we can all, you know, hang out on Saturday and make cupcakes. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like your neighbor actually helps your neighbor. You actually stand up for yourself, your people, and your neighbor. That's it. You know, your neighbor may be Chinese, your neighbor may be, you know, Hispanic. That shit doesn't matter. Not where I'm from. No way. It doesn't matter. In all reality, if everyone would stand up for each other, there wouldn't be half the trouble that's going on right now.
All right, but I'm gonna cut you off here, and I'm gonna say, okay, Jack, tell everyone where they can find you. Throw some plugs out, and you know what you're doing once again, and then we're gonna probably move on to our show. And you're welcome to join us if you still have time.
We done got so political. We forgot about the music, people. Damn it, but I love it.
No, I do apologize, Jack. Tempo is really bad at that. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
Listen, I love it because this is honestly, this is some of the stuff I address in my music. I talk about this stuff a lot in my music. So, if you're looking for my stuff, you can find it at jacknickelz.bandcamp.com, where you can get all my mixtape music, where I have, you know, a variety of mixtape singles. And if you really want to be nice, you can find my stuff on iTunes and Google Play, where my most recent album, Finally Gone, has been released. And you can go and you can download the music, show support, get me up there in those YouTube charts and iTunes charts. And if you're in the Connecticut area, around West Hartford, on May 30th, you can come check me at the Producer Showcase, where I will be with a bunch of other great Connecticut artists who could enjoy your support.
Okay, so the other question, you want to join us for our regular show, or you got to head off to bed?
I am going to head off to bed because Jack has to work in the morning. So, but I like this stuff. I always love when you guys do these interviews. I always say, you know, whatever you do, you know, come get me. And to any other artists who may be listening, I know I always say this and I sound like a broken record. If you are not smart enough to utilize the outlet that is True Local Radio, then you are making a mistake. This is great pub for any artist trying to get out there. This is a great way for young artists, old artists to reach out to a bunch of fans in a unique format that you won't see anywhere else. And trust me when I tell you, they do their homework. So don't be surprised if they ask you about certain songs or certain projects that you didn't even bring up yet. Because Ray and Chrissy, they've shocked me sometimes with some of the stuff they ask me that I didn't expect for them to ask me. So trust me when I tell you this is a great outlet for people to support. And I will tell you to do it now before they get signed to XM Radio and can no longer associate with us little people.
No, I'll tell you right now, Jack, like I was going to say before, you know, it's the first time I've talked to you. You're a very, very wise man. You really are, you know. Yeah, you don't really get wrapped up in the small picture, but you actually see beyond the picture. You see the picture frame and the wall that the picture is hanging on, if you will, short of words. But the thing is with Too Loco, it's the small people that we're for. It's not...
We matter because you matter.
Exactly. It's not, you know, we blow up and we're on XM or iHeart or anything else that we're going to forget about the people that we talk to. That's not it, because that's where we came from. That's what we started with. And I guarantee, and this is Tempo's word, that's what I'm going out with. I can guarantee you that.
I like that. And Ray, you need to use that as a logo.
And the whole thing, not to cut you off, Jack, not at all. The whole thing is, we run a radio show. This is not a parking lot. If you take our house, you take our foundation away. So you take our, so we have to go find another parking lot. We run a radio show. So you take our, you say, okay, well, we're going to buy the rights to Too Loco. Fine. Then we'll call ourselves
Too Loco Plus.
Too Loco Plus, exactly.
And I swear, and this is the thing. It's and not to cut you off there, Ray, but in all reality, and this is how I am, and this is one thing, we talked about when I first came on before we even did the first show, is it's about the regular people, the working people. It's not we get blown up, we're on, TV shows or whatever it might be, wherever it may go. That's awesome. That's sweet. Awesome. Great deal. But if you tell me I can't talk about, the local artists, the ones that are actually out there working for what they believe in, I don't want to be on your damn show.
Yeah, you're going to get a 2-birdie salute. I don't care.
And you're going to get Tempo pisses on you is what you're going to get. That's what Tempo's known for. But no, Jack, in all reality, hey, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. I'm very glad that I got the chance to, speak with you and listen to, your words of wisdom. But I'm not saying that, in a smart tone, but I mean, you were a very, very intelligent person. It's been a great pleasure talking to you.
And exactly. And if you ever want to talk on our regular show, we give you the open invitation like any artist out there.
I would sit back and listen and not talk. That's the thing. It's this guy is phenomenal. And if anybody in Connecticut, are you kidding me? If you don't know this guy, get with him. He's already told you how. Jack, go ahead and tell him one more time.
If you're looking for the music, you can look me up on iTunes or Google Play under Jack Nickelz, or you can go to jacknickelz.bandcamp.com to get my music, or you can catch me hanging with the good people at Too Loco Radio. My good buddy Ray, Temple, Chrissy D, and the whole band, and we're having fun. And we'll be
No,
I can't have fun.
So's the quiet one. It's all good, Jack. Don't worry. She hasn't talked much. But no, no shit. I mean, it really has been a pleasure talking to him. And I'm very glad that I was out here and, and able to talk to Jack. Because, I mean, God, this guy's I'm done. I'm not going to sound like
all right.
making
but go
brownies.
back to where you were at. Rewind.
Yes. So feel free to holler at me, catch me on the show if I plan on being a regular, because I always have fun talking to these guys, and it's good to talk to people who actually care about shit and not just reading off a script.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah, exactly. We might start showing our 12 o'clock shows because we normally do interviews at 11 o'clock and cut it off at 12.
Yeah.
But you're not one to cut off. No. But at 12 o'clock, we may just start doing it over here, and we'll just upload there. It don't matter to us.
That's fine. But, hey, Jack, like I said, it has been a great pleasure speaking with you.
All mine. Good meeting you. You're a cool guy. I can't wait to do this again.
Hey, you have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right. Well, you take care, man.
All right, you too, guys. Hey, have fun.
All right. Catch us anytime at 12 o'clock. You're welcome to come on anytime we're on.
Warning.